Hey guys, it's me Brian, and I have a different kind of video for you guys this week. Now this just happened to me today, like the day this video goes up. So sorry, no fancy editing or anything like that because I just needed to talk about this. Okay, so this all started on Grindr because of course it did. And you know, sometimes as we gays do, we start feeling a little frisky. So I was chatting up with some locals trying to see if there's anyone who would be available to meet with me. And then I met this one guy named Mr. T. We'll call him Mr. Teabag. Mr. Teabag. So Mr. Teabag and I start chatting. And it's like the usual thing in Vietnam where like, you know, we exchange your stats, like your name, height, weight, position, and where you live. And after that very normal introduction, he added me on Zalo, which is like the Vietnamese WeChat. And if you don't know what WeChat is, it's basically like the Chinese messaging system where like, you can do pretty much anything and everything on it, like pay with stuff on it. Zalo is the Vietnamese version of that. And it's when he added me on Zalo that I noticed that he just wasn't really someone that I was interested in. Like he wasn't what I thought he was. Now, keep in mind that this is all happening at around 10 p.m. And for those of you who are new on my channel, you might not know this, but I am a grandpa. Like my bedtime's at 8 p.m. And I usually do a very good job of keeping to that schedule, but I don't know, I just was feeling very frisky that night. And this is where I fucked up. Once I saw he wasn't someone that I was interested in, I went to sleep. I just went to bed. Now, when I woke up that next day, boy, were there some Snickers in his knickers. He sent me like this long, semi-long string of texts, which I can't show you at the moment because I blocked them, so I don't have access to those messages anymore. So we're gonna have to go by Scout's honor for this, okay? You're just gonna have to trust me on this. But basically, he said something along the lines of, you invited me out for a good time, but then just ignored me. This is not the first time that you did this. Don't text me anymore. Next time you want something, go text someone else. Like something along those lines. Now, I don't remember this guy at all. Like, I don't think I've messaged him before, but I'm willing to believe him because, as you know, like Grindr does the stupid thing where it like deletes your messages. So I don't have any access to our past messages if there are any. But you know, maybe on his side there's like a whole string of messages that he can bring up. So you know what, like fair. So yeah, he has a point. He doesn't want to be messaged by me anymore, and that's totally fair. That's perfectly reasonable. So I responded with, okay, come on, which means, okay, thank you. Like those exact words. That's all I said to him on Grindr. And then later on, he responded to that text. But to be honest, I don't even remember what exact thing he said. But what I do remember is that it kind of felt like he was trying to rekindle something, rekindle the connection a little bit. Like, you know, maybe oh, okay, what are you doing now? Or what's up? Or it was something like that. You know, just like a very random question of some kind. And this is where I fucked up again because I did not respond. Because like, you know, in my noodle kanji brain, I was just thinking like, okay, he asked me not to message him again. And truthfully, I did not want to message him again because like one, I was simply just not interested in him. And two, his reaction to me not responding to his text immediately that night was kind of like, you know, not a vibe. But you know, like to be fair, like the proper thing to do that night was just to like let him down up front. You know, just be like a real adult and be like, hey, you know what? Thanks for your time, but I don't think it's gonna work out. I'm not interested, or like we're not compatible. Just like let him down up front like that. But I didn't do that. I just went to bed. So do not be like me. But anyways, instead of being that higher self upfront version of myself where I like, you know, responded to him more honestly, I just simply chose to not respond to his Grindr message again. And that really broke the camel's back. Like the floodgates of Fon Castle just like gouged right open and like it all went tits up from there. He basically said the Vietnamese equivalent to fuck you, to which I responded by blocking him. Hence why I don't have access to the messages anymore. And I thought that would be the end of that until I woke up this very morning to receive this string of Zalo messages. Now I'm gonna skip a little bit of the lore here and just give you the most important part. So like this is all just all expletives anyways, like it's just a string of insults. But the thing that sparked this whole video is the very last thing he said, which translates to guy who uses meth. As you can see on this other message, he basically said that he's gonna go on Facebook and tell everyone. So the implication here is that he's gonna tell his whole Vietnamese community that I am someone who uses meth, and also potentially tell the police that I am someone who uses meth, which is illegal here in Vietnam. And to all of that, you can see here, I responded to all of that with, oh, but I thought you said not to message you anymore. You know, like trying to diffuse the situation a little bit, like calm the waters. Now, to those of you abroad, this might not seem like that big of a deal. Like, you know, it's just like internet beef. Like if I was in Canada and this exact same thing happened to me, like, okay, sure, you know, like tell the police whatever you want. But like if there isn't like concrete evidence against me, I don't think anything would happen. Like the police would be more on my side if this thing happened over there, you know what I mean? But here, I'm not sure if it's because my mom has always told me to be extra careful when I'm living here in Vietnam, because you know how Asian moms can be. Like they're always showing you stories and stuff on Facebook about the very worst of what humanity can do. You know what I mean? Like she's always showing me like Vietnamese Facebook posts about like all different kinds of horrible things. And like because of that, I am like aware of just how ruthless some people can be here. Like I'm worried that it doesn't matter what the truth is. Like my worry is like maybe this guy can just like bribe someone to like just storm into my house, right? And like they won't find anything because like all I got here are like protein powder and condoms. But like that doesn't matter because like what if he like forces someone to like plant stuff? Like what if like he bribes the police to like come over, storm into my house, and then one of the police officers like, you know, is pretending to like search for stuff in my house, and then like he has like a planted bag of like meth in his pocket or something, and he just whips it out, and then like that's enough to like arrest me or something. Like I know that probably won't happen, but like what if, you know? Like I understand like this is probably like a really irrational fear, but like my mom has always told me while I'm living here to not trust anyone, and that I always have to be extra careful because things are different here than in Canada, right? Like here I am more on my own, and so I am feeling very alone right now. Like only time will tell if this actually explodes into something way bigger than it needs to be. So, you know, while I'm still here, I just kind of wanted to put this video out there so that it can be on the record, my version of events that happened. I ain't no math user. I mean, you can come into my house right now to check if there's anything. You're not gonna find anything. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think anything's gonna happen, but it's just like, to be honest, I don't know how or what to do to best prepare myself for the worst. Like my kanji brain could only think of this as a solution, basically just like telling my version of events and putting it up on the record here before anything happens. Like I'm sure everything's gonna be fine. Like I'm just a little bit worried, and I'm a little bit annoyed that like, you know, someone's probably gonna use my pictures and start posting lots of random things about me online. But that's just how it's gonna be. So, you know what, just gotta like keep trudging along. If anything, this serves as yet another life lesson to always be as forthright as you possibly can, because you never know what kind of crazy that other person on the other side is gonna be. So you always wanna be as sympathetic and as caring as you can be towards someone, because you know what? Maybe this guy, Mr. Teabag, maybe this was really the last straw. Maybe he was having a really large string of bad events and bad times happening to him. And getting ignored by one person was really the thing that just like tipped him over the edge, you know? I am sorry that like I hurt him to that degree. But I mean, I just didn't think things would happen like this. And like, I am sorry because I do know how it feels to be ghosted and that kind of stuff. And like, I mean, it's not an excuse because like, you know, I did leave him. I did kind of ghost him that night when I didn't respond to his message that night. But I actually did have the intention of like responding to him the next morning. But things just kind of like spiraled out of control somehow. And now I am worried about being arrested somehow, some way. Again, I'm sure nothing's gonna happen, but I am still a little bit worried. Yeah. Anyways, sorry for this long ranty video. It's really reassuring to know that like I have people who are listening to me. I know that sounds a little bit cliche, like, oh, I'm so thankful that I have you guys, but it is true. Like it just feels like, if anything, having this just put out there and being out on the record and just having it feel like there are people who will listen to my story and listen to my version of events, it just feels reassuring to have, you know? So anyways, thank you so much. And I'll be safe. I'm gonna keep myself safe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.